Okay, hi guys, welcome back to a new video. So this marks the very first episode of CHICK Chronicles. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell is CHICK Chronicles? So, ever since I started dating or like men, my life has been in shambles. I mean, my love life. So now, CHICK Chronicles. I want this to be like a monthly thing. I'm not sure because I'm super inconsistent. So on each episode, this is episode 1, right? On each episode of CHICK Chronicles, we're gonna be talking about how I got dribbled, and we're gonna have wine to go with it. See, this is gonna get interesting. Like, you should stick around. Like, you should hit the subscribe button. But anyways, so yeah, welcome to the first episode of CHICK Chronicles on my channel. Anyways, before I even start, let me pour myself a glass of wine. This is that. It's not even visible. First glass of wine on our channel. So this guy, I've known him ever since high school, right? Like, I've known him ever since high school, and I always saw him as a brother. You get what I'm saying? He was more of like a big brother to me. That's how like I felt. You get, I don't know how he felt in the beginning, but anyways, he said he liked me for 8 years. I mean, who am I to say he was lying? But anyways, so we met in high school, but nothing ever went down in high school. I just saw him as a brother. I thought he was being nice and stuff. Right. Homeboy was trying to flirt all this time. You know that. So fast forward to varsity, right? Fast forward to varsity. So in my very first year, like, I actually ran into him. Like, I was like, oh, you know, like, I know you from high school. So he was trying to flirt still, but in my head I was like, Angelina, not everybody likes you, not everybody wants to date you, like, calm down, you get. So I was like, okay, sharp. Fast forward to this year, like, we occasionally used to talk before, like, he started asking me out, right? So it was just like friendship weird vibe. I mean, I thought it was hot, but not like hot as in I wanna like fuck you hot. It was just like, you okay, you get what I'm saying? So yeah. And then earlier this year, I was trying to get into the hostel because I was late for school, and usually when you're coming to Windhoek, if you are like coming in the middle of the year, like, let me say not at the very beginning, it's super hard for you to get rent. So I couldn't find a place to rent at that very moment because I was scheduled to like come like the next month. Yeah, so I called him because he knows people, right? So I called him. I'm like, hey, yo, like, I want to get into the hostel. Do you know anyone that can help me? Oh, I'll get back to you. Just let me, you know, like, see who I can find, right? I was like, okay, Kishap. Kishap. So I waited for like, I don't know, probably like a week, and he still didn't get back to me. So this one night, I called him. I think it was around about 9. So I called him. He didn't pick up. And then he called me back later. I was like, no, I'm with people, I'm chilling, whatever. But I was like, no, I'm just inquiring about the thing that we spoke about last time. And I was like, no, I'll call you later. Like, is it okay if I call you later? And I'm like, yeah. In my head, I'm like, you're gonna tell me about, you know, like the thing that I asked you about, right? Sharp. And he calls me at around like 12 going to 1, you know, telling me, no, yeah, I still didn't, you know, like, do it, like, I forgot, yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, sharp. I'm like, okay, bye, right? He starts confessing his feelings for me. He starts confessing his feelings for me. Apparently he has liked me for like 8 years, ever since we were like in high school. And I wasn't, you know, like the it girl in high school But all I'm saying is I was cute still. He's stalking me this whole entire time. He's like, no, I just like you, but I was scared because like I always saw you as a little sister, and when I started developing feelings for you, yada 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 yada. Apparently you wanted to keep the relationship, you know, the way it was. I was like, okay, sharp. And he's telling me all of these things. He wants to know me, whatever. I'm like, I always thought you were hot. I never said that, but like in my head I was like, I always thought you were hot. And yeah, and he was telling me, yo, I was throwing signs, you never got them. I was like, no, I always thought you're being nice. You check. Okay, sharp. So by that time I was still back at home, right? And then we started talking. Almost every single day he would call, like late night calls, you know, those ones that make you fall in love, those ones. But and then like this whole time he's just telling me, I can't wait for you to come to the city, it's been a minute since I've seen you, we should link up. In my head I'm like, yeah, I want to see you too. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, let me just be honest, like I didn't like him like that, but he's just like a really nice guy. So in my head I was like, yo Chomi, if this one asks you out, me just give him a chance, because he's being nice to you and you know he's a nice person. Like, he will treat you right, like he's gonna get you right. And I'm here making a video. Anyways, fast forward, I come to the city, right? And the very first day that I arrived, I think I arrived at like 6 in the morning. So I had to go over to my uncle's house, and then my landlord called me like later on in the day. She's like, no, you can come get your keys, whatever. Mind you, I could have stayed at my uncle's for like 2 more days just to rest and figure shit out before I moved. But just because this man was telling me he wants to see me, I moved. The same day, bitch, I moved. So I moved the same day, and he's like, yeah, no, like, when can I see you? Like, I really want to see you, whatever. I'm trying to get my place together. So I tell him, I'm like, yo, unless you pull up to my place, because I can leave, because like I just got here and I'm trying to like sort things out. So he came over and we're just like talking. He helped me with a few things, whatever. In my head I'm like, maybe I might actually like you. But yeah, so we still continue talking, right, and hanging, whatever. Eventually we start dating. I don't know, guys, I don't know how to take time and evaluate people, or like all I'm saying is there were only green flags, only. Okay. So we start dating. And by this time, this man was supposed to be out of the city already. But, well, that's what I was told. He stayed behind because of me. Because he wanted to hang out with me even more. Right. Yes. So, guys, I will not sit here and lie. Like, I did not see any red flags, like at all. They were not visible, nothing at all, guys. But he's a man. What more do you expect? Okay, sharp. And then he initially decided that, hey, yo, like, I'm gonna go home like this day, whatever. I'm like, no, it's okay, I'm gonna miss you, but like, if you have to go home, then go home, my G. You get what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. So that week that he was supposed to go home, right, my dad was like sick. So he was in the hospital. He came to the city for treatment, so he was in the hospital. And like this one day, I think it was a Sunday. It was the Sunday, the next day was a Monday. So I was even coming from his place. I was coming from his place, right? So I get home and people are like calling me non-stop, like, hey, yo, your mom is not picking up, neither is your dad, what's going on, did you get to see them? And that very day, right, I planned on going to the hospital to go see my dad, but like my mom was not picking up. So like I started freaking out. Like, I thought, everybody thought the man is right. So I call him, I'm like, yo, this is what's going on, whatever. He's like, no, do you want me to come over or whatever? comes over. He's like, no, I don't feel comfortable leaving you here alone. Just come so you spend the night at my place. Like, I was mad scared, like I won't even lie. So yeah, I end up going to his house, and then I go to school. Like when my classes were done, he texts me. He's like, no, I'm leaving. I'm like, he's sharp. He's sharp. You can go, my brother. So like we're texting the whole way, right? And at around 6 in the evening, he texts me. He's like, yo babe, I'm coming back. And I'm like, he's like, no, I'm coming back to Windhoek. I cannot leave you alone. I feel like you're alone. You don't have anyone, and you're going through like, you know, like an emotional thing with your dad. Like, guys, come to think of it, I think he was actually let me save the best for last. Let me save the best for last. In my head, I'm like, he's capping. There's no way. Like, he stopped the car in the middle of the way home to come back because of little old me. He actually did. And then he's like, he arrived in the night. So he texted me. He's like, yo, like tomorrow, like what are you doing? And I actually had school the next day, but I missed school. It was a Friday. So he was like, no, tomorrow I want to take you out on a date, whatever, get ready. Then we'll go on a date. Now the next day he decided to go home. Hey, what? He decided to go home. Sharp. Now he actually did go home that time. So like when he went home, like the communication was fine, guys. He's sharp, like you're right. Everything was fine. We talk every single day, texting. If we don't have seconds, everything was fine. And then he comes for, what was he here for? Like, I don't know. He came to the city and he came to see me. We hung out, whatever. He goes back. And then things become way too sketchy for me. And then communication goes downhill. Like, me personally, I am not embarrassed of double texting you. I will double text you, but to a certain extent. I will double text you, especially if you're my person. I will double text you with no shame. So it will always take him time to respond, or else he'll be like, no, I was sleeping, or else he'll be like, no, I was out of town. Angelina also me. Guys, I don't know. Every time I like tell the story, like I'm just like, bitch, do you not see this? This is all leading up to disaster. Like, he has his stuff like at my place. Even right now, like my closet, his stuff. So, but not all of them. You'll find out soon what happened with the rest. So yeah, he was texting me. He's like, no, I need this and this and this from you. Like, can you send it? Whatever. I was like, no, if I get somebody that is coming that side, like, I will send it. Right? And then that was a Friday. That's the last conversation that we had. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Give Friday. Okay, now on a Thursday, right? On a Thursday, I told my cousin about the situation of him not texting for the whole entire week. So my cousin is like, nah, fuck this nigga. Like, fuck this nigga. So she decides to call the guy with her phone. We call the number like 3 times. She's not picking up. We call his best friend. Now his best friend is my cousin. He's like, no, I was just with him a few minutes ago. He just went home. I was like, you're with him? Okay, sharp. And like this whole time, my cousin, like my best friend basically, was she did not tell the guy that I was there too. So she was like, no, I just need something from him. I want to ask him a few questions. He's like, no, let me text him to tell him. Listen, let me text him to tell him that it's you that is calling. meaning he was ignoring like something, right? Soon afterwards, he texts back, call. My cousin calls and she's like, no, I want notes from you, whatever. This, and he was on loudspeaker. Firstly, he sounded very fine. Fine young man talking on the phone. He sounded very fine. Okay, sharp. Now the main reason why we decided to call him, why my cousin decided to call him, was because she was like, what if maybe his phone is off, since you haven't been texting me now. I'm like, wait, sharp, just to find out his phone is on. He's fine. He's even telling her, no, just send me your email, I will send it right now. While me, the girlfriend that he supposedly loved, was not texted at all. Okay, sharp. So I call him again with my cousin's phone, right? Doesn't pick up until like probably the 4th try he picks up. I'm like, hello. He's like, hi babe. He even knows it's me. I can't. He even knows it's me that is calling. So now I'm trying to like ask him about the reason why he has been MIA. He's telling me, no, I cannot hear you properly, the network. I'm like, the network? But you just spoke to my cousin a while ago and you're telling me about the network. Okay, I don't force things. So I hung up. That was Thursday. Friday, he's texting me in the morning. No, how are you? Whatever. I was like, hey, you don't come here in my space and act as if everything is fine with us. We're not doing that. Like, fuck you. We're not gonna play that game. And he's like, what's going on? Whatever. So I confront him about the whole, not texting me, nothing at all. He's like, when? He's asking me when. He's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, so firstly, you have amnesia. Secondly, I'm crazy or I'm hallucinating, right? He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, let's talk, whatever. Now that Friday, Mina, because I like things, I was hosting game night at my place, which turned out ugly as fuck because a lot of shit went down, but another story for another day. Anyways, when things went down, I was calling because I was literally in tears, like I was crying. So I was calling him. That was like 2 going to 3 probably. So I figured he was sleeping, but I called him more than 10 times. That's all I'm saying. So he texts me the next day. He's like, no babe, what's going on? You called me crazy, whatever. A lot is going on in my life right now, and I don't have energy to give you or your silly little fights. Like, I don't want to fight with you anymore. So we're like, all right, sharp, let's drop the story. That was a Saturday. Keep track of the timeline. Sunday, he texted me. He's like, hi babe, no, I was at church, whatever. They were telling us Father's Day, to be more exact, Father's Day. He's telling me, no, I was at church, they were teaching us to love our partners and take care of them. I was like, really? But me, you are not doing the same to me. He's like, no, I'm sorry for being off these few days, like lately. I know I have not been like the best person to you, like I'm sorry. So me, in my head, I'm like, yeah, my baby is back. Monday, if I'm not mistaken, between Monday and Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure it was a Monday. I don't know. Okay, Monday. I was in here. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, you saw the post. I think that was last month when I posted. I was like, yo, I'm single. Now that was the exact day this happened, this event right here. So I was in my room making TikToks. Mind you, I had a full face of makeup on, like full on glam, like I'm making TikToks, right? And then I get a call from an unknown number. So he's like, Angelina. I'm like, my name is Babe, but okay, what's up? Like, because he's calling me with an unknown number, right? He's like, no, I just want to talk. I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, yo, he's gonna apologize for everything that went down. He's gonna tell me he's been going through this and this and this. Like, he's apologizing. And I'm like, I'm listening. It's like, yo, I really need to tell you something. I'm like, I'm listening. And there's like a long ass pause. So I'm like, is it bad? This was his response. It depends on how you take it. And now my head is like racing to the fullest. I'm like, yo, did he impregnate someone? Did he cheat? Like, I'm thinking. I was like, okay, let's give this girl a name, because I cannot be mentioning people's name on this channel. I don't want trouble. I don't want trouble. So we're gonna call her Charmaine. We're gonna call this hand Charmaine. So he's like, do you remember Charmaine? I'm like, yes, I do. So now let me give you a backstory of Charmaine. So when you are still around, right, in the city, right, he was always at my place. So this one time he was sending emails using my PC, meaning he had to log in to his Gmail using my PC. So when he left, the Gmail account was still open, and I was looking for something because I know there was something that I wanted from him, but he refused to give it to me. So then I was looking for it, right? Ewa. And then I ran across an email from Charmaine. It was pictures. Now me being the nosy person that I am, I will not let that shit go. Like, I clicked on the email to see the images, and it was like pictures, like normal pictures, like not funny pictures, normal pictures. Like, I think she went for a photo shoot or something, so she sent to the guy, and this email was like a year old or something. Okay. And I'm like, interesting. So when he came over the next day, I'm like, I went through your shit yesterday. And he's like, oh, you did? Like, he was chilled about it. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, do you know a Charmaine? And he's like, yeah, I know 2 Charmaines. I was like, no, nigga, a Charmaine that you be fucking. And he's like, oh, like we did, and when she's my ex, she's no longer in my life. Key ex. Hi, Lord. Key ex. Okay. Back to the present situation now. That was the backstory of Charmaine. And he's like, do you remember Charmaine? So I was thinking, like, maybe like he ended up hooking up with Charmaine again, right? Because you know how the stories with exes goes. Like, for sure, I know I'd be hooking up with my exes randomly, like, okay, not all, just like specific people that, yes, but not when I'm in a relationship. Okay, so in my head I'm like, okay, he hooked up with the ex, like that is something that we can talk about, right? But then he ends up saying, anyways, he ends up saying, so Charmaine and I, meaning Charmaine and him, right, combined like this, have yo, this is funny. So he's like, Charmaine and him, sharp. He has been seeing Charmaine this whole time we've been together. Meaning, Mina, I was after Charmaine. He was in a relationship with Charmaine and he decided to make me his girlfriend also. Meaning me specifically. I was the side chick, bitch. And in my head, I'm like, Lord, again. I'm like, you're joking. So on the phone call, right? I'm telling him, I was like, my brother, you are joking. He's like, no, I'm serious. This is not a joke. I'm like, oh. So I said it in, let me even say it in our vernacular. I told him, nee, onewagara rodi, straight. And so when I start like going off, he hangs up on me. He hung up on me while I was busy getting mad. Right. Okay. While I was busy, yappa. He just hung up, cut the call straight. Okay. Then I remember his best friend is my cousin. I call him. I'm like, yay, call me back. He calls me back. I'm like, I have a question. He's like, he starts laughing. He's like, you wanna know why your boyfriend has not been responding? None. And I'm like, no, I wanna know why you stood by and watched me getting played while you're my cousin. And he's like, getting played with who? I mentioned, I'm like, Charmaine. He's like, no, Charmaine and him have been over. All I know is like they ended their relationship like a while ago, like long time. So in my head, I'm like, he's probably lying because he just wants to end things for like a dumb reason. So in my head, I'm like, yo, no, it's not actually this story because my cousin is saying he doesn't know. If he doesn't know, like, who am I to know? Like, who am I to believe this nigga? Because his best friend knows better, right? Me. Guys, I was so blinded. I wanted to believe that he was lying to me, right? Okay. Came, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm thinking it's a Tuesday. Like, yeah, the next day basically. I was sleeping on my bed. I was sleeping early in the morning, like 7-8 stories. I was sleeping, nay. Just for me to get a call from an unknown number. Now I noticed the last digits, they look really familiar. So in my head I was like, oh Lord, please don't let this be your son. I'm like, Angelina, hello. On the other line, hi. Hey. It was a girl, baby. It was a girl. And she's like, do you know who you are talking to? I'm like, no. She's like, it's Charmaine. I'm like, Charmaine. Charmaine. It was Charmaine. And she's like, I'm like, oh, hi Charmaine. She's like, hi. I found out about you yesterday. I was like, same sis, same here. So she's like, no, I just want to ask you a few questions. Yada. I'm like, I have no reason to sit here and lie to you. So like, I will answer every question that you have. So she was just asking me like, when have you guys been seeing each other, since when, whatever. And she's like, and this hand, she knows all of my names, including my middle name, my surname also. She's like, you don't remember me? We went to high school together. No. So apparently this hand and him have been going out ever since high school. You know when last I was in high school, bitch? So me, I was the homebreaker in this picture because they've been together. Probably more than 7 people have been married. Now me, ish. Okay. So I'm telling you, I was like, yo, Chomi, I did not know about you guys' relationship. He did not mention you, like, at all. So, okay. She was asking me, like, you know, were you ever at this place in the city, whatever. And I'm like, yes, girl. Like, I was always there, like, sleeping over. She's like, really? It's like, yeah. And she's like, well, his little sister. Okay, firstly, his mom, his aunts, they know about her. That's what she told me. And his little sister and his best friend knows about her. And I'm like, Chummy, the best friend that you're talking about is my cousin. And she's like, really? I'm like, yes, he's my cousin. And she's like, so you've met the little sister and whoever. I'm like, yes. Ish. They knew about her and me. Like, they knew. But I don't blame them. It's not their problem. But my cousin, Chummy, if you're watching this, remember the Lord is watching you for letting me get dribbled like this. Anyways, yeah, that's how I got dribbled in June. Starting from March to June. I mean, it wasn't even that deep for me to actually cry. No, like every time I get into like a situationship or relationship, whatever, I always tell people, like, I'm just literally sitting here and waiting for him to fuck up, because that's all that men do. Like, that's the only thing men do, basically. They fuck up. They have something good and then they fuck it up, right? So even in this one, my mindset was, he's gonna fuck up eventually. And people are like, no, you're putting negativity. Where is the negativity? It happened. You see, like, I was prepared for the worst. So, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yo, and I cried. Like, I haven't. Maybe one day it will hit me, but I don't think so. It's almost the end of June, and I mean July, and I'm good, bitch. And within this whole process, right, of us dating, whatever, the audacity that this boy, does he even deserve the title of being called a man? I don't know. This human being decided to call my big brother to ask for permission to date me. You know, like, I think that is the one thing that really pissed me off when I found out, because it's like, you really had to disrespect my brother like that. Like, I didn't even force him. Like, it was a matter of, oh yeah, I want to speak to your brother about seeing you, because I have a little sister, and I feel like if someone was courting my little sister, I would want to know. I was like, okay, he's sharp. I gave him the number. So even now, the only thing that I spoke to him about after the breakup was, yo, apologize to my brother. Right? That's the only thing that I want from him. I don't need him to explain why he did that or whatever. Like, bitch, you don't need closure, because when you go for closure, you will end up under him, and you'll never get over him. So let's forget the whole story of closure. We're not getting closure. It's fine. He can live his life. I'm done. Bitch, if I don't take revenge, the karma is eventually gonna get him. But this is the funniest thing. I was telling you guys, you would find out what happened to some of his stuff, right? I said I have his stuff here. Well, I cut up his clothes, his shirts that he left here. I cut them up, and I was this close to burning them, but I was scared that neighborhood was just gonna see me, and there's a lot of dried bushes before I start a wildfire. So I just decided to cut them up and put them in a plastic and burn them. So threw them away. The initial plan was to cut them up, burn them, and then take a video and send it to him and say, come get your ashes. But I didn't do that because I'm a nice person. I'm not a toxic person. At least that's what I like to think. But yeah, that's what happened. But yeah. So we have come to the end of the first episode of CHICK Chronicles. Thank you for watching, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of CHICK Chronicles. And yeah, like, leave a comment down below. Thank you if you reached this far. You're a real OG, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning in, and bye.